welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a September plan with me. We're going to be going over a little bit of what I liked in August, what didn't work for me the previous month, so that we can figure that out and move it on to the next month, right? So here is going to my August cover page. I decided to make a horizontal layout of the calendar in the front, just because I thought it would work for me a little better, and it did. So this is going to be my monthly overview. I did it the vertical style for this one because I feel like it might be easier for me to write in it, and it worked out pretty well. I liked it. I didn't fill it out too much after I filmed, but for the most part it worked out, so I didn't. And then here is my habit and anxiety tracker, as well as my expenses. So with this one, I didn't use it after a certain day, which kind of sucked, but it helped me see that it was kind of my fault on one end, and at the same time, some things I just didn't want to fill out. It was just too much work for me. So as you can tell, like here through here, like these are the days I had vacation. So I was traveling a lot, going back and forth. You know, same thing for the anxiety tracker. As you can see, I kind of slept around like the 9th or 10th, and then the last day for summer school was the 11th. So then after that, I just pretty much left and I went home and went on vacation while I could before coming back home for school again. On this side is my expenses. You can see I spent $200 for school books, but that was like the last time I wrote in it. And then subscriptions and everything. This page worked out well. The habit and the anxiety tracker definitely did, but I think I might get rid of the expenses only because I don't really need it. So on to the next page, I did a few lines a day. I tried to anyway. So I tried to really start journaling. I wanted to note down things that were happening every day in my life, but it was a little harder than I thought it was going to be because sometimes I didn't have enough time for it. You know, I did write for the most part up until again the 11th, which was when I went on vacation. Again, as you can see from here to here, like I left for vacation, so I didn't do it. You know, I mean, I wrote down the major things like hanging out and stuff like that, but for the most part I just forgot about it. Like yeah, I think the only day that I really talked about was like the last day, the 22nd, where I got my tattoos. Like that was a major thing that I wrote down, but other than that I didn't really do much of it. And then as again, school started for me about on the 25th, 26th, but I didn't go back to it again, so I figured I might not do that next month. Here are my highlights. I'm going to fill in the things that I liked for the past month. And then my brain dump, I spent a little too much space here. So you can see I have all this empty space. It's just right here in the middle. You know, I think I might bring it up a little bit and use the bottom part for something else, right? Because it might just work better. This is the first layout of August. I filmed this one for you guys. You guys saw this one come together. I like this one. It was good, you know. It worked out pretty well. It's not like it didn't. I love that I had my calligraphy on there. I think I might go back to doing something like that. And my master to-do list, this was the week that we went to Lake Tahoe, my nephew's birthday. So again, I was out of town for a lot of August, but I still tried as much as I could. So for the next week, you know, I really enjoy this little, on the left side right here, this overview of the week. It helps me see everything that I need to see right here. You know, I had a final on this day and what I had to do for the other days. On the bottom here, I have my master to-do list. It was a little big for me. I think that I would make it smaller only because I actually don't have that much to do. And then again, on this side, it's just my everyday, and it worked out very well. So that was good. And then for the last 2 weeks of August, I actually ended up putting them on like technically one spread, I guess, because I just didn't have time. So again, the one on the left, I was traveling a lot. I was, you know, not home very often. So I filled out the most that I could, but then I just kind of left it as it is. And then on the other side of here, I have my, you know, senior year. I was going into, again, you know, I was super busy. I wasn't home. I pretty much came home like the Wednesday before school started, and school started on a Wednesday, but I actually didn't have class until Thursday. So that was kind of cool that I got to stay one extra day, you know. And then again, so that was just my month of August. There really wasn't much to it. I think I figured out a little bit of what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and that worked out pretty good. So I think now we're just going to be getting into our September layout, which I did sketch out prior. I felt that it would help me a little bit get through one a lot quicker, and then two, I kind of had to rethink to myself of what I would like and everything like that. I think I'm going to stick to a green like layout for the most part, because September to me, even though everyone's super excited about like pumpkin spice lattes and stuff, September to me is still, it's in between that like fall and summer, so I just wanted to still keep it in a very nice, you know, like green feeling to it, something that was still kind of summery but not very fall yet. So here we go. And then so for the layout here, I'm just going to I did the leaves on the top and the bottom just to kind of make a separate of, you know, where I was going to be writing down, right? So here I'm taking my Micron gel pen in a 0.38, yes, the one of the finest points I have, and I'm just going over the leaves that I'm drawing. I like to go over the leaves first before I start coloring them in. I just feel like it, you know, helps me not have to worry about it so much. And then here I just have the Crayola like super tips markers. You know, they're really good markers, so it's not like they're bad markers, and they show up very nice and they work very well. So I just use that in different types of greens. I did little berries on there, little golden, you know, petals on the other side. And then I have my pen, and I did my September in calligraphy. And then here again I sketched out the same thing. I actually went over it with pen already, so that I didn't have too much to do. I carry the same kind of leaf theme, however I did use flowers in it because I liked it a little more. So I just brought that theme over as well. I added a little bit of the yellow in. It's probably going to be my overall colors, this like golden yellow, the green, and then like this maroon red that I really like. And then so I decided for this month that I was going to do the monthly overview here instead of my vertical one that I did last month in August. I like the fact that I can kind of see what day lands on which, like what date actually lands on which day, right? So like Friday is the 1st, or Saturday is the 2nd. I want to know what those dates are going to be, so I just did it this way instead. I feel like it looks a lot better. I do like it more than the vertical layout, only because I feel like it has more of an artistic look to it. Like it doesn't just look like I'm making a list, like it looks like I'm actually drawing something out and decorating and making it look nice, right? So here I'm just filling in a couple of the important things. You know, I have to pay rent on the 1st of every month, and I have no school on Labor Day. And then I'm just putting a sticky note down for my highlights. I don't like to add my highlights into my actual highlight area until the very end, so that's just my weird thing. Alright, and then on this page, I just kind of sketched out where I wanted things to go. So I didn't necessarily sketch out the whole entire you know, page like I did the last one. So I decided to split up my brain dump and my monthly bills on this page. I did like that I put down my monthly bills and the subscriptions that I have, because I do pay monthly for certain subscriptions like Photoshop, and I pay for Hulu and stuff, like, you know, just these services that I get billed every month, and I like to know like which ones are going to be coming out which time, what, you know, what bills I have to pay for. Those things are just a little nice versus like random expenses, right? And then here I'm just putting down my brain dump. You know, I do still like a page that I can collect things and I can put them there, and you know, if I have quotes that come up in my head, I can dump them down just real quick, or you know, video ideas. So I do still like that I have, you know, a page where I can do it. Again, in my August one it was a little too big, so I just changed it around a little bit. I made September a little smaller, you know, I decorated it a little more, hoping that I will actually try to do it, because last month I didn't do it that well. But overall I think, you know, this one was just very plain, very simple, and it wasn't too bad. So here we're going to be going on to our habit tracker and our anxiety tracker. So I like the, you know, the side layout of it. I like that it's going to be vertical. I enjoyed that, so I think I kept it like this for now. And then I just am putting in dates in and the habits that I want to get done this month. And here is my anxiety tracker. You know, this one helped me out a lot last year. It helped me kind of see more than just like my mood, but how I was feeling that day with my anxiety, because oftentimes my mood was affected by my anxiety. So I wanted to just track that down as is. I made a little tracker with the days that correlate to the ones at the top, and then 1 through 5, so 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. And every day I can just go in there, put a little dot down for how I felt, and I could see which days was it that I felt the worst and better than that. That was that day. So here's going to be our first week of September, or technically first week of September. So I put the first and the second because they were a Friday and a Saturday. I just left them kind of on their own. I didn't want to give them their own spread. So I left them on this side, and then on the right side, I'm doing the rest, the official first week of September, right? I did all of my boxes, and then I'm going back in there with my ruler and putting in lines just so I can see more of what day is actually what box. I'm going to sidetrack for a second. On the left, I did do again my weekly overview that I really enjoyed, as well as goals that I had for the week. I kind of wanted to do a master to-do list again, but didn't work out too well. I kind of figured I could throw it into the weekly. Maybe next week I will put it back in there. Again, so then now I'm putting in the dates for my first week, just knowing which day it was, but then I kind of got confused, so I went back in there and put in the actual days, so Sunday through Saturday again. And that's going to be my first week of my layout. I filled in the classes and everything else, so that was good. I'm just going to go back and flip through some of the stuff. That's my cover page and everything. And that is my September plan with me. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like down below if you want to. And then watch my last video also. Thanks, bye!